What's poppin'? It's time for more Draft League content, and I'm glad you all have been enjoying it so far. It's been super fun for me to do, and so for week 3, we're up against my boy Cbad, who has a very scary team that has given me so much trouble while testing, and I've lost the majority of my test games until I created this variation of the team, which seems to perform slightly better, but it all depends on what he brings. And he ended up making some trades in time for this week, and it is perhaps the most powerful Sun draft I have ever had the displeasure of facing. His team consists of Gouging Fire. That mon in Sun is nasty. That mon is so good. Along with Walking Wake. So he has not only Gouging Fire, but also Walking Wake. Very, very difficult team to switch into with Sun boosted mons like those. And Chlorophyll mons in Venusaur and Terra Captain Shiftry. But that's not all he has. He also has Terra Captain Electrode and Terra Captain Greedent. Those 3 mons can be quite annoying depending on what he brings, and you can't really expect which one is going to make an appearance because all of them have value. All of them are really good. And speaking of Pokemon that are difficult to switch into, like Gouging Fire and Walking Wake, he even has Primarina and Mamoswine. Those 2 mons are quite good as well. And solid defensive mons in Corviknight and Mesprit, along with, I guess some of the other mons can be made to be really bulky, like Gouging Fire, which is very versatile in the sense that it can run, right? It can be Dragon Dance, it can be Choice Locked, defensive with Morning Sun, Bulwark, etc. There's a lot of options for his team, and I think his team is really great. Now, I really had to cook. I really had to cook for this one. So, as you can see, the first mon that I'm bringing on my team is none other than Utility Umbrella Scary Face Annihilape. Now, let me explain this mon, right? With the Chinese EV spread that I have here, it's very bulky. And so this mon is able to take on Gouging Fire in the Sun. Utility Umbrella is quite nice to ignore the Sun boosted power from Flare Blitz and Heat Crash. And essentially with Scary Face and Encore, you can beat Gouging Fire 1v1 because Scary Face lowers their speed by 2. As you know, their Gouging Fire's Dragon Dance increases their speed by 1. So if they try to Dragon Dance as you Scary Face, they're going to be slower. You can Encore them on the next turn and then lock them into a loop where you can always get -1 speed versus them, and then Encore lock them and do that over and over again. And then Rage Fist, chip them down with Drain Punch or Rage Fist depending on how powerful your Rage Fist is at that point in time. And it's a really good way of beating Gouging Fire sets, which have given me the most trouble in my test games. Now, I also tested Utility Umbrella versus Walking Wake's Hydro Steam, and unfortunately, does not work the same way. However, I do have moves like Rain Dance on some of my mons like Mew and Empoleon, which will be able to switch up the weather, and then it will ignore Hydro Steam's Rain Boost. Now, Hydro Steam increases base power in the Sun, and I think it goes through Utility Umbrella, but in the Rain, then we can ignore the Water Boost from Rain and Fire Boost from Sun, things like that. So yeah, I really like this Annihilape set a lot. It's really bulky and it can sponge a lot of hits, and it's faster than, I think, yeah, Mamoswine and stuff like that. Mamoswine, Mesprit, etc. Faster than those mons. Shiftry as well. And I think this mon is going to be quite useful versus Gouging Fire. And I like I said, I really had to think about how to take on his team efficiently, and I think that Annihilape can do it well. Now, this Mew set is very interesting. I'm bringing a Rain Dance Mew with Imprison and Transform. Now, Imprison, of course, makes it so that the opposing Pokemon cannot go for any move that's the same as us. If we transform, we become them, and the Imprison's still active, which means that their Pokemon cannot go for any move versus Mew because Mew's going to be transformed into them. And then that's going to force them out, and we'll probably be able to capitalize on that. And it's going to be great. If he brings mons like Calm Mind, Sword Power, Mesprit or whatever, or something bulky or something annoying like Greedent or things like that, we can copy those and transform into them. Could be cool versus Gouging Fire as well, which Rain Dance is something that I have on this team to change up the weather and weaken Gouging Fire's fire attacks. And also Nightshade for consistent damage. Citrus Berry I put on here just in case of potential Greedent, because I can actually copy its ability and utilize its healing potential with its ability using up 2 berries, so that could be cool. And yeah, that's Mew. So then we have Farigiraf. Now, I was having a lot of trouble with his speed, with Gouging Fire, Walking Wake, etc., and potential Chlorophyll mons like Venusaur, Shiftry. So I'm running Trick Room, Throat Spray, Farigiraf with Armor Tail instead of Sap Sipper because I want him to assume that we are Sap Sipper, so he might not go for the Grasp moves anyways. But Armor Tail is great versus Sucker Punch, Terra Dark Shiftry, or Ice Shard, from Mamoswine or, yeah, any kind of priority move. It's really good against those. And he does have them. So, yeah, Trick Room, Hyper Voice, Psychic Noise, Thunderbolt. So we have two ways of activating Throat Spray with Hyper Voice and Psychic Noise, which will give us a +1 special attack boost. And Thunderbolt's just great to hit Corviknight, which resists these two moves. And I have, well, this should be 30. I have 30 speed IVs here just to underspeed Primarina and not speed tie it by accident. So that's always nice. And then we have Raging Bolt, the AV monster. This Mon here, always a reliable sponge for the team to be able to take Mons like Venusaur, and you can sponge a Draco Meteor from Specs Walking Wake, which is pretty insane. It does that with ease, and yeah, from full HP. So yeah, this Mon here just, you know, Dragon, Electric, coverage. I have Dragon Tail to phase things out, potential para, priority, consistency, so just an all-around good Mon. Then I have Shucka Berry, Rain Dance, and Polion. This Mon here is another way to switch up the weather, along with Mew, if you bring Sun, which is the most dangerous matchup versus me. And yeah, Surf is going to be a consistent 2-hit KO on Corviknight in the rain. Flash Cannon's great, as well as coverage. And Shucka Berry for Mamoswine, right? We could actually bait Mamoswine to stay and try to Earthquake. We could Sponge, Surf, knock it out. Pretty easy. Good Mon overall. And finally, Kleavor. Now, Kleavor is going to be my lead in most scenarios with Swords Dance. And, you know, as a way to get up rocks guaranteed, we have Sash with Stone Axe. Swords Dance can help us break through Corviknight. I have Tailwind just in case if I want to click that to be faster. And X-Scissor is good, consistent damage versus Mons like Venusaur, Walking Awake, Mesprit, Mamoswine, etc. It's just good damage, right? It does more than Stone Axe because of sharpness, having 15 more power, right? So it's quite strong. But that's gonna be my team. That's gonna be my team right here. And yeah, I have set this to be faster than Mamoswine, faster than Mamoswine, faster than Mamoswine. Mamoswine's a huge threat. I'm on click the buttons. I know the power of Chinese Mamoswine. I also know the power of Banded Mamoswine. Choice Band. That Mon is scary. So yeah, I think this is probably the best team I could bring for this matchup, I guess, at a first glance. I'm sure that if he doesn't bring the Mons that I'm thinking of, maybe some of these might not be great, but I do think that, yeah, depending on what he brings, these Mons can do really well. Farigiraf has been putting in the most work possible for me, and Annihilape's been probably the best way of dealing with Gouging Fire while testing. So only time will tell. Let's see what happens in this game that I'm about to play in the next 20 minutes or so. So we'll see. And yeah, stay tuned for the battle starting soon. After winning back-to-back for the first 2 weeks, we are here for week 3 of the Shuckle Premier League, taking on my boy Cbad. Now, we always have very interesting games against each other, like how last time I brought Heart Swap Manaphy and stole his Cresselia's boosts to defeat him. As Evil Emvee, it was only natural, and once again I brought more scary techniques against this team, which, if you haven't seen the team builder portion of the video, then prepare yourself for extreme levels of heat. Before we commence our liftoff, please ensure you're safely fastened in and are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on any of the heat content. And y'all can say that you were here before we eventually, hopefully, hit 100k. I should also preface this by saying that I lost about 90 to 95% of my test games for this one, so I'm just going to go in with an open mind and see what happens. I think we're just about ready to kick things off, so let's go ahead and do just that. Very curious to see what he brings, as this could go a lot of ways, depending on the 6 Mons that he shows up with. And we found him, so let's see what he got. Let's see what he got. So he's got the Mamoswine, Primarina, Electrode, Gouging Fire, Corviknight, and Mesprit. No Walking Wake, and no Ninetales. No Ninetales means no Sun. That's crazy. Wait. We're saved. Wait, we might be saved. We might be saved here. Oh, that's interesting, but wow. Okay, I'm kind of surprised about that. I mean, I do think my best lead either way is, probably leading with my Kleavor, Focus Sash. I've been leading with this Mon for all of my test games, and it's been doing really well. Though I haven't really faced, I don't think I faced too many weatherless team matchups. I don't think I faced any at all. Maybe one, but yeah, I was really kind of banking on him bringing Sun, but he didn't bring Sun, unless he's Manual Sun with like Lead Electrode or something. He has some Sunny Day users, or Mesprit, I guess. But Electrode is his Terra Captain, so that might be more offensive, I guess. Huh. Okay, well, I mean, he still has Gouging Fire, and Gouging Fire is probably the biggest threat to my team overall, so that Mon is still super scary. He's got Rock's potential in Mesprit and Mamoswine and Defog potential in Corviknight, but I do think my lead is great. So, only time will tell. We'll see what happens. Gotta be really careful about that Gouging Fire, though. That's the mon I'm most worried about. But he decides to challenge me. This may or may not be his first mistake. Actually, him not bringing Sun probably was his first mistake. We'll find out. He leads Gouging Fire, though. Oh, the threat's in already. The threat's already, and he's trying to sweep me right from the get-go. But however, my Kleavor is a fantastic lead. I actually don't want to. I want to Tailwind here, actually. He might be. What if he's burning Bulwark? What if he's burning Bulwark turn 1? I think Tailwind is my best play. If he just attacks, I mean, I have Sash anyways. But I have to take into consideration the burning Bulwark potential. Switches. Okay, nice. So this works out still perfectly fine. But if he was like lead burning Bulwark with, I don't know, a more defensive Eve spread and Morning Sun or whatever, Tailwind would have been my best play to scout for that. He goes Corviknight though, so we do get a +2 little speed for our entire team. And now, I think Stone Axe is the play, right? We can Stone Axe here because we'll not only find out what set this is, but we'll also get up rocks in the process. And I don't think he'll defog on this turn. Maybe Iron Head or U-turn. Good damage. He is Rocky Helmet. Okay. Get rocks up here. Gonna be good for the overall matchup, and U-turns out. Wonderful. So actually this makes it such that if Corviknight comes back in, and if we're somehow set up to +2 with Swords Dance, it dies. So rocks are there to stay for now. What does he go into? He goes into the Mesprit here. Okay. Mesprit probably is going to switch out and double back into Corviknight, predicting my bug move. We do see that it's leftovers, and there's not a chance that Mesprit's staying in, so I'm going to make an aggressive play. Instead of going for X-Scissor, which I could go for here, I'm going to probably Swords Dance, I think is my better play, to predict the Corviknight switch in. And by doing that, if Corviknight comes back in, +2, Swords Dance, Stone Axe would knock it out, I think, from that range. Let's see. Goes back into Corviknight, yep, like I expected. Takes Rock Chip. Easy in range, yeah, easily. Little +2 right here. We're getting kind of scary now. Look at this mon. Lead Kleavor putting in that work, and we can Stone Axe to knock this Pokemon out. Yeah, this is fire. This is a great start to this game. Tailwinding up, getting up rocks, Swords Dancing up. And now we get to fire off a big Stone Axe. He has no switch into this mon. Dead. And Corviknight is gone. Corviknight, good night. Night, night. Tailwind is gone, which is fine. His response to this mon will probably be Electrode. Guaranteed faster, and probably knocks me out with its special attacks. Terramon as well, so we gotta watch out for that. But I do think that Raging Bolt is a great pivot to that mon, to be able to sponge the hits, switch out accordingly, figure out what set that is. He could also go back into Gouging Fire if he's like offensive. If he's offensive, Gouging Fire does also make sense. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Electro to Gouging Fire. Mesprit. Huh. Okay. Okay. Goodbye, Mesprit. Turning Mesprit into a Mess Spirit. It's gone to the afterlife now. I'm not sure why that play was made. I guess maybe he didn't expect X-Scissor, but I mean, I was making a play with that Swords Dance. So now I think he's going to go into either Electrode or Gouging Fire. If he's not going Gouging Fire, it's not faster than me. So he has to go Electrode then to knock me out. But, I mean, I can't complain. Lead Kleavor putting in that work. Lead Kleavor is quite nice. And getting rid of Mesprit's great. I mean, I didn't know what set that was. It could have been Calm Mind or something like that, too. Or some kind of set that's annoying. But, yeah, I had my Mew prepared for that set in case of any potential bulky kind of mon I could just transform in prison or whatever. He's really thinking about this. What is he gonna go into? Please, go into Electro, please, please. That's probably Electro, right? Stone Axe, let's go. Dead. Primarina? Nah, more like Primary. Nah, not today. Not today, Primarina. Primarina, nah. Say it ain't so. Okay, Luck, who's that? Ah, the Electrode's here, finally. Alright. I like it. So, I mean, at this point, Electrode isn't that much of a threat. I could probably preserve to make this a 6-0 or whatever. I could try, but I don't think I even need to. Maybe the fact that he didn't go into it means that he doesn't have a way to knock this out. Because, like, I could go into Raging Bolt. I'm tempted to, but if he didn't go into it until now, maybe he doesn't have a way to knock it out. Thunderbolt. Okay. Okay, Kleavor, you did great. That was like 6 turns and Kleavor knocked out half the team. Kleavor is a huge threat. I actually like that one so much. I actually like it so much. Kleavor is a beast. Gotta love Kleavor for what it did, but I could probably Dragon Pulse here. He taunts. Okay, free damage. Free rocks, free damage. I think he's gonna Terra this turn. And it's gonna either be Ice or Fairy. So I'm gonna make a play now and just probably discharge here. I think is my play. Yep, Terras. If he's Fairy, I made a god read predicting the non-Terra. So he Terra Ice is here. So it wasn't Fairy. I think his Terra types were what? Was it Fairy? I forgot. Electric Ice Fairy? I think that's what it was. That is nothing. Nice. Nice little discharge here. I could just play safe. Like, I don't even have to switch out of anything at this point, right? We knocked out Corviknight, Mesprit, Primarina, and Electrode. He's got Mamoswine and Gouging Fire left. I would assume he goes Mamoswine here, but if he goes Gouging Fire, we stay in. I think if it's Mamoswine, we also just stay in anyways, and then probably go into Mew, maybe, or Annihilape, or Empoleon. Maybe Mew or Annihilape afterwards. Yeah, he goes Mamoswine here. I'm tempted to switch to Preserve, but do I even need to? Like, what if this Mamoswine is something crazy, like, I don't know, Curse, Weakness Policy? What if this Mamoswine is crazy? Like, what if it's actually crazy? What if he was just baiting me all this time? Just to bring this mon out. What if it's Chinese Mamoswine? Ooh, what if it has 5 EVs? What if it has 6 EVs? Icicle Spear. You know what's crazy? Bringing Icicle Spear, and if I had gone into Annihilape, my Rage Fist would be like 250 power. That's actually a crazy bring. To bring a multi-hitting move against Annihilape. Which I would have gone into, but I think Annihilape is the play for what I should go into now. What I'm about to do may seem like the most evil thing of all, but the number of times I've been reverse swept by Gouging Fire in my test games has me hyper focused on not messing this up. So I could go Mew, but I think Annihilape is gonna be... Okay, I have an idea. Because the last 2 mons are Mamoswine and Gouging Fire, right? So, gonna go for the Drain Punch here is obviously my play. Because I want Annihilape in last versus Gouging Fire, right? We don't want Gouging Fire to be able to set up for free, so Annihilape makes the most sense. And you'll soon see why. You'll soon see why. So I think we just Drain Punch here. If he Ice Shards, he gets... My Rage Fist gets even stronger, so he's not gonna do that, so... That's nice. We'll knock out Mamoswine. Annihilape is in versus the last mon gouging fire. This is going to be my guaranteed way of winning. Now, it's going to be BM to the untrained eye. To the inexperienced eye, it's going to be BM. But to real connoisseurs of heat, it'll be recognized as genius and widely appreciated. Check this out. We're going to scary face. We're going to scary face here. All right? We're going to lock this thing into a loop. Oh, it's blocking my scary face. The stupid crown or the shield on his head. So Dragoness is up. So now it's net -1 speed. It is, so Dragoness gives it +1 speed. Scary Face is -2 speed. So +1 -2 is -1. Now we encore lock it in, right? So when we encore lock it in and it Dragoness again, it becomes neutral. Then we Scary Face twice. So it becomes -2, encore again. And so basically we lock it into a loop where it gets to a low amount of speed. And then we just Rage Fist to guarantee knock it out, where it can never unlock itself out of this cycle. And that is Evil Emvee right here. That is Evil Emvee for you all. Now, it's my most guaranteed way of doing this, right? I don't want to get reverse swept by Gouging Fire. And this is my most guaranteed way of doing this, but I just have to be really careful. I have to be insanely careful, because if I mess up this pattern and it somehow locks out of Encore and gets +1 speed, then I'm doomed. But this is a guaranteed way of doing it, so I have to be really careful. I apologize if this makes him mad, because this is a little bit of a repetitive cycle. But it's genius, isn't it? It's genius. Scary Face Annihilape to take care of Dragon Dance Gouging Fire. You gotta admit, that's fire, right? That has to be fire. I do wish, though, that I could actually get the Scary Face animation without its head blocking the way. So I can put that in the thumbnail, but that's fine. Look at that, look at this encore. Locking him in. This is such an evil strategy, though. This is so evil. This is insanely evil. Because Gouging Fire is having a tough time right now. Scary Face. I think we're gonna have to check. How do I check again what the speed is or what the stats are? It's like the Y button or something, or the plus button. Let me see here if I can. Nope, not that one. Okay, -2 speed right now. That's fine. Let's Rage Fist once now. Nice chip. Good chip, good chip. There's a Dragon Dance again. Encore ended, so we have to encore him again, I think, and then Scary Face once. Yep, so now he's neutral speed. We can just Scary Face. I think we Scary Face to be safe, right? Or, let me see here actually. Neutral. Yeah, I think Scary Face into a Rage Fist, I think is the play. Let's Rage Fist here. Yep, and that looks like it's in range. We don't have to Scary Face anymore. I think he's already scared enough of our technique. He's already scared enough of this heat. And let's knock it out. Hopefully not Cuss Tap. It's not. And that is going to be GG. It's Emvee. GG, it's Evil Emvee. Definitely an Evil Emvee strategy right here. I think a very fitting way to end this game by showing off my Scary Face. And I honestly did not expect the game to go the way that it did for this one, but it feels pretty good. I mean, Kleavor was supposed to be just a lead, but unintentionally, we ended up knocking out half the team in just the first 6 turns. I do think Electrode should have come out sooner to knock out Kleavor, but we take those, and yeah, I didn't get to show off some of the heat tech that I had, like Mew and stuff like that, but I'm quite satisfied that I got to show off Scary Face Encore Annihilape as a way to shut down Dragon Dance Gouging Fire. So that puts us at 3-0 in the league right now. And definitely check out my boy Cbad. I hope he wasn't too frustrated about that Scary Face Encore locking Gouging Fire in as the last mon, because I know he was trying to like reverse sweep me last mon there, and Gouging Fire can do that. In my test games, I struggled so much versus Gouging Fire. It's crazy how much, because I like I said in the beginning, 90 to 95% of my games were all like Gouging Fire losses, and that mon is dangerous. But that's how I like had to really kind of dig deep and figure out a way to have a more guaranteed way of dealing with that mon, with positioning and being able to essentially shut it down for good. And Scary Face Encore Annihilape did just that, and I'm so happy about that we got to see that mon do what it does best versus that stupid Gouging Fire. Very, very scary mon. But yeah, definitely check out Cbad, great friend of mine, and I'll be curious to see how his side goes. And with that being said, I look forward to hearing from you all in the comments. Let me know what you all think about the heat that I brought this week. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.